Alright, so we're back in the world of Path of Exile 2, and today guys, I'm going to be giving you guys the second to last update for my Flicker Strike Gemling Legionnaire. We have put, I believe at this point, about 10 extra divines since the last video into the build. So we have made some pretty significant changes that has improved the build drastically. We have defeated a couple of the Pentacle bosses and has progressed our Atlas pretty well. We've been putting a lot of effort into doing a combination of rituals and breach to really give us a good amount of currency. With that in mind, the update that we're going to do on this build is going to be probably about 50 plus div, so that's going to be the grand finale of the build. But overall, the build has gotten significantly stronger, faster, more damage, and overall, at this point, you should be able to complete just short of every bit of content in Path of Exile 2. But with all that said, let's actually dive into the build and talk about the changes. Alright, with that intro out of the way, let's dive into the updates of the build, and as usual there will be a Mobalytics link down in the description, as well as just a general gameplay on the right side or left side depending on where we are, just showing you some of the gameplay so you can enjoy it. But yeah, let's go over the build. So since the last time that we spoke, I don't think I've done anything with the gems. Just want to be very clear on that, just so you guys know. The gems have not changed in any way, shape, or form. The gems are exactly the same. Just make sure all your gems are quality, but for the most part, the gems have stayed exactly the same. So when it comes to the changes on the build, at least the gear wise, we have made some pretty significant changes. If I'm not mistaken, when I talked in the intro, I told you guys it was going to be an increase of at least about 10 div that we invested into this build, and so we're going to go over that. But yes, this is at this point probably about 10 to 15 div build, and then the next build is probably going to be closer to 100. But yeah, this is where we're at. Let's go over it. So the staff has not changed. Our helmet has gotten a change. We have lost a little bit of dex, but we changed our helm to another Black Sun crest. But we decided to get 1 to maximum power charges as our enchant, because we did change some things in the passive tree that we're going to go over that actually made us lose a little bit of our power charges, but in turn we gain a ton of attack speed and overall net more damage, so that we can actually kill things significantly faster. So yeah, we did take that out. That one was a 1 div upgrade, so if you did spend a div on the other one, you can continue to use it, but I would primarily want to get maybe a maximum power charge on the helmet, because that's actually pretty useful. When it comes to our amulet, we actually ended up spending, I believe at the time I bought this, it was like 2 div, maybe 1 or 2 div, I don't remember exactly. But this one gives us life, mana, spirit, strength, and double resistances. We needed a lot of lightning to cover for our gloves, and this was the price that we had to pay. So it was a pretty big upgrade, but one that did a lot for us, which, as you can probably tell looking at our HP, I'll just pull up the character screen. We have 4,712 HP with 269 life. Nice, and that's giving us almost 5k HP life, whatever. So pretty tanky boy. We have a 695 strength, 220 dex, and we're still a little low on int, but we're going to be fixing these 2 stats. All these stats are going to get a major boost in the next video, in the final video, so just be on the lookout for that. Overall, this was a really good upgrade, and then we anointed Titanic on it. Titanic is right here, if you're wondering, on the tree, and it is despair, paranoia, and guilt. I believe this was less than 25 exalted for this anoint, so it's a pretty nice anoint. It gives you a lot of strength. When it comes to the rings, I believe our rings stayed about the same, if I'm not mistaken. Strength, all attributes, mana. We need to replace this one next, and this one again is a breach ring. Added cold, added physical, mana, strength, int, and I got a little bit of maximum mana because this helped us quite a bit. For our gloves, and this is probably the biggest upgrade that we got so far, we got a Hands of Wisdom in action wraps, and what this does is it gives us added lightning damage based on our int, give us attack speed based on our dex, and this gives dex and intelligence. That's why you've seen a major shift in significantly more dex. We've doubled our dex since the last time we saw that the last video, and so this is contributing to giving us a lot more damage. We also got a corrupted one that had 2 slots in it. That's actually pretty important, because we put the soul cores in to give us in all res, which is actually helping our res quite a bit. We do have cap res except for chaos. I need to fix the cold one again. Since the last video I haven't really messed with the gems, but this hasn't been that like detrimental. We're gonna remove the fire gems out and add some other gems. That's gonna cost 2 div each. So it's a pretty big upgrade, but it's actually pretty nice. And then yeah, but our resistances are in a great place. Like, we're really good. We just need to get chaos taken care of, which again we're gonna take care of in the next video. On top of that, the next video is gonna have like the super completed in game. You put everything you want into it, you know, perfect build. Anyway, moving on, we did get a life belt that had a ton of strength once again, and resistances. I did want to show you the item that we're going to be swapping to, because I actually did, and this is another portion of the thing that's super expensive. If I can find this damn thing, we've been farming rituals pretty heavy. Did I just put it in here? There we go. We have an ingenuity. So ingenuity, you can only get this from facing off against the Mist King, King of the Mist. This thing is going to run you anywhere, depending on your increased bonuses gained, anywhere between 5 and 25 divs. Personally, I'm going to hit this with a couple of div until it rolls a higher roll. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty expensive upgrade. I'm not using it just yet because I do need a little bit of resistances on some of my other pieces. But just keep in mind, we're going to be swapping to the ingenuity, and this one's going to cost you a pretty significant upgrade. I guess we technically can count that one in this video. Expect about a 20 div upgrade for the belt, and that's just going to make these rings much better. And when it has all the stuff on the rings, they're going to get amplified by 80%, and that'll cover our resistances, and that'll give us a ton of strength and things like that. So this is going to be our next big upgrade. Make sure you save up for this, or you go face off against the Mist King. You can just get an audience with the audience with the king and go face off against me. He's actually not that hard. Anyway, pretty big upgrade. And then we got these boots here. Once again, chaos code, strength, life. At the time, this cost me 1 div. I could get another pair of boots, which I will very likely in the next video. And but yeah, more move speed, more strength, all that good stuff. And then I think that's about it. With that said, I did want to quickly say something about this chest. From what I can tell, from what we've seen in data when it comes to item rarity, it does look like item rarity has a good cap at about, well, a good diminishing returns after 125-ish. And so what I will be doing in the near future is I'm going to be taking this chest off, and I'm going to get a strength chest with 3 slots, and I'm going to end up just putting those like 300 exalted cost runes into them and just use that. And then once I have ingenuity in, it'll increase the rarity of the stuff on my rings, because that's what this does. And then I'm just gonna have 2 rings with quality on them, and I'm gonna have my chest with those things in them, and I'm gonna swap to maybe a hybrid armor evasion or pure armor chest and get life and get like actual valuable stats that I can use. Because again, I do not think we need to over invest into rarity like we did in previous videos, because about 125 to 140 is all we need, and this includes the map modifiers. I have a link in the description going over like some of the testing that we've seen from the community, so you guys have a better understanding of this. Sorry we dwelled on this part a little bit heavily, but I want to make sure you guys know where we're going with this build for the next video, so you have a better understanding. But it's a pretty pricey upgrade, but yeah, that comes with the territory. With that said, let's go over the passive skill tree, and you will notice a change in the tree all across it, because there's a few things we changed. So one thing I forgot to notice at the very beginning, guys, you should have this node, not this node. This one give projectile damage, this one give armor. It's very minor, but you'll just go down this way. What you should do. I just couldn't be bothered to do it. I'm lazy. But instead of going this way, go this way, because you'll get a minor benefit. Figure I mentioned it. So any major changes that we've seen so far? Obviously, we anointed Titanic. We grabbed this node for the extra life. And then we're going to be grabbing this with our next upgrade, because we have a point here that's wasted. And we're going to just get our next, we're about to level up, and we're going to get this jewel socket. Nothing really much changed over here. But what did change, that's super important, it's here. So if you guys remember from our last video, we came up here and we grabbed this power charge, and we grabbed this power charge. Unfortunately, these are not the greatest of points now that we got Hands of Wisdom. You should be moving past this and unspecking this. We're gonna lose some power charge, but Hands of Wisdom scales off of Dex, And because it scales off of Dex, it made more sense to use those points to come grab this now. So if you have Hands of Wisdom, that you probably should at this point, come over here and grab this stuff because this is way better. This is also part of the reason why we took the extra one to power charges, just to kind of make up for it, because whenever we are buffed, we still have a whole minute on it, and that's actually pretty nice. A minute is still a good amount of time to keep the buff, and with all this extra stuff, you will have a lot more like solid damage. But yeah, we're grabbing this. You can go with the bestial skin if you want. I think this is better, enhanced reflexes, because it gives you a % increase in evasion and still gives you raw evasion. Grab all the pro efficiency, and then we made it our way over here to Falcon Technique because it's really good for Ice Strike. The third attack on Ice Strike does a lot of damage, and the higher you have attack speed, the more damage you're going to do. And attack speed is really important. With that said, enhanced reflexes got us from 48% evasion to 61% evasion, which is actually a pretty significant defense boost, pretty significant damage output, and overall the character feels much stronger. We can kill much faster. So this is a big change once you get Hands of Wisdom. You can do it without it, but I personally would wait until after that because this is gonna, be a little bit more synergistic. With that said, this is really important. Mana becomes a massive problem. And there's two ways you're gonna solve for this. One, you can get a jewel that has % mana on it and put it into your gear, put it into your slots, and you have a lot of jewel slots. The problem with that specific method will be mana still may be a minor problem. I haven't tested it because I use my flask most of the time and it's fine, and I do enough damage that most things die fast. I'm not sure how this is going to perform against Pinnacle bosses because I haven't fought a Pinnacle boss with this change yet. I know my damage is significantly higher, but I haven't fought a Pinnacle boss with the changes yet, so mana did become a problem. So what did we do to solve for it? The second way is to change from this one that gives 1 to skills to this one that gives us 30% less cost. When I changed to this felt like before I swapped to Falcon Technique. And while I do think the 1 to level skills are okay, actually I think it's kind of ass if I'm being honest. I think both of these are super ass. I keep saying this every video we talk about this. These two are so lame, especially this. This costs 4 points to get 2 and just give us 1 to skill level. What is that? Anyway, this is giving us more mana sustain, and I think having the utility of having mana sustain is super important, so that you don't have to like stress out. Because I've had some people come to the Discord and they were like having a hard time with it, and I think just taking this has solved my mana problem. So what we're going to be getting next are called the Grand Spectrum Ruby Jewels, and what these are going to do is whenever you put it into your gear, they're going to give you 2% increased maximum life per socketed Grand Spectrum Jewel. Now, the thing about these jewels are, we're going to put 3 in, because obviously it's limited to 3, as you can see there, and it like multiplies itself. So when you have all these in, you'll get 18% life. Now, as you can probably tell looking at my stats right now, I have 91% fire. That means I can take away a lot of it and get rid of some of these jewels that had, as you can see here, fire resistance. I can get rid of this and still have plenty of resistances. So what you should expect to see in the next video is we're going to take this out, and we're going to take this one out, and then we're going to put 3 of these jewels in, and then here we're going to put one of those jewels that give us chaos resistances for every small node, and that will cap our chaos. That will give us 18% HP, and that's going to give us like close to like 7k HP or something like that. 60 HP, a little over 60 HP, and we're going to be significantly tankier. So that's going to be the next one. Those actually aren't that crazy of an upgrade. I think they're only 1 div each, and then that cluster jewel or the jewel that makes chaos isn't that much higher. So you'll probably pay about 5 or 6 div, and you're going to get a significant damage boost from your tree. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight on what we're going to be doing next. For the Atlas, I'm going to just show you the Atlas quickly so you guys can maybe see the Atlas. We're doing Ritual right now. So this is how we're getting a lot of our money. I did a video yesterday going over Ritual, if you guys want to have a better idea of what I'm doing, but I'm basically farming an audience for the king, and then I'm kind of selling them or doing them depending on how I feel. And we're just gonna farm the audience. Now I did find an audience today, but I didn't have the tribute to get it, so I'm a little mad about that. But we're doing audience for the king farming with ritual, and it's been really nice in terms of the things that we can get. You can sell them for about 7 div each, so you can pretty much buy most of your gear with like 3 of those. Wouldn't take you more than 3 days if you're doing this strat, give or take. So it's pretty nice. Did want to go over the atlas though, because I did change it a little bit. So this is how our atlas is kind of tuned. The reason for this is precursors are really strong right now, and we really want to make sure that whenever we're going to ritual and we're putting things on our precursor tablets, that they really get their benefits. So yeah, grabbing all this stuff here. I'm not going to go over each of these. I just showing you so you can visually see it. But we're just going to grab all this stuff here, and we invest it into monster packs because we want to have as much on the ritual. For our breach boy, I killed him twice. Should kill him a 3rd time. I just can't be bothered to go kill him yet. But we're just doing this on breach. Anyway, enough rambling. That's going to be it for this update video. If you guys have any questions, concerns, whatever, come to the Discord. Send me a message. I typically answer if I'm up. I'll jump in chat with you, help you out. Been doing that like all week to help people out, so you can come jump on in. Just keep in mind, over the next couple of days, there will be Dynasty Warrior stuff on the channel because I'm kind of playing it right now a little bit early. We're going to be doing some videos on that. So expect to see a combination of Dynasty Warriors as well as Path of Exile 2. Just for those of you so you're not too like blindsided. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave me a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Later.